If you're an American man who wants to feel more alive, more connected, and more confident in your relationships, even as you age, this message may be the most important thing you hear this year. Because the truth is, no drink, no powder, no magic liquid in water can give you the intimacy, energy, or emotional presence that your partner truly desires. Instead, what actually transforms your romantic life is something far deeper, far more real, and far more powerful than anything you could ever pour into a glass. When men worry about losing their spark, they often imagine the problem is physical. But in reality, one of the biggest secrets in long-term intimacy is emotional alignment. The ability to understand yourself, communicate your needs, listen with intention, and show your partner that your connection isn't based on performance, but on presence, trust, and genuine emotional intelligence. And this is where the real magic begins, because confidence in a relationship doesn't come from supplements or shortcuts. It comes from how you speak, how you show up, how you respond under pressure, and how safe you make your partner feel in moments that require vulnerability. Many men in the USA grow up without ever learning the emotional skills that turn ordinary relationships into extraordinary ones. Skills like understanding your triggers, managing stress without shutting down, reading your partner's emotional cues, and creating intimacy through communication rather than relying only on physical expression. In fact, research consistently shows that emotional closeness is one of the strongest predictors of long-term satisfaction for both men and women, meaning that the more emotionally present you become, the more naturally your confidence, energy, and connection rise, without needing anything extra in your water. When you learn how to truly listen, how to express affection with clarity, how to offer reassurance without feeling weak, and how to maintain your calm in conflict, you start building an inner foundation that makes you feel stronger, younger, and more grounded than any physical trick ever could. Aging doesn't decrease your power. It simply demands a shift in how you approach intimacy. Instead of raw intensity, you learn depth. Instead of ego, you learn empathy. Instead of worrying whether you're good enough, you learn how to build an emotional environment that naturally strengthens desire, trust, and connection. A powerful relationship is built through the way you speak to your partner when life gets hard, the way you handle disappointment, the way you show gratitude, the way you communicate boundaries, and the way you create emotional security that makes both partners feel safe expressing their needs. This emotional safety becomes the fuel for intimacy at any age. It reduces stress, lowers anxiety, increases love hormones, and makes the relationship feel alive, exciting, and comforting all at once. And the most incredible part, when you master emotional presence, your physical confidence automatically improves, because your mind is no longer clouded with fear, self-doubt, or pressure. Instead, you operate from clarity, intention, and self-awareness. So if you truly want to feel 20 at 70, the secret isn't in a bottle, it's in emotional maturity, relationship wisdom, open communication, mindfulness, stress reduction, self-acceptance, and the ability to create emotional closeness through trust and empathy. When you learn how to be emotionally attuned, how to understand your partner's needs and express your own without shame, you unlock a version of yourself that feels strong, connected, confident, and magnetically attractive. Not because of temporary stimulation, but because of genuine relationship intelligence. And this transformation doesn't fade, doesn't depend on chemicals, and doesn't disappear overnight. It grows with time, gets stronger with age, and becomes a deeper source of power than anything you could ever mix into water. True intimacy is not about performance. It is about connection. True confidence is not about shortcuts. It is about emotional strength. True masculinity is not about age. It is about how you show up, how you communicate, how you love, and how you lead your relationship with compassion, clarity, and confidence. This is the real secret, the real power, and the real answer you were never taught. And the truth that so many men in America never hear is that emotional connection is the real foundation of lasting desire. Because as partners grow older, as life becomes more complex, and as responsibilities increase, what keeps intimacy alive is not the intensity of youth. It's the depth of understanding, the softness of communication, and the strength of emotional presence that replaces insecurity with confidence and replaces performance pressure with genuine closeness. And the irony is that when men stop obsessing over feeling young again and instead focus on building emotional safety, they naturally begin to feel lighter, happier, and more energized in every part of life. Because emotional connection reduces stress hormones, improves overall mood, increases trust, and boosts the feeling of being valued and appreciated, which is one of the most powerful psychological drivers of intimacy. And yet, so many men are never taught this. They grow up believing that attraction depends only on physical stamina or performance, when in reality, a woman feels closest to a man who listens to her without defensiveness, who apologizes without pride, who communicates without anger, who expresses love without hesitation, who creates emotional comfort without needing to be asked, and who shows that vulnerability is not weakness, but strength. Because vulnerability is honesty in its purest form, and honesty is the foundation of connection. Imagine a relationship where you don't fear growing older because your intimacy doesn't depend on youth. It depends on communication, compassion, humor, shared memories, emotional safety, and the ability to express love in ways that make both partners feel seen, heard, and understood. Imagine walking into your 70s with a partner who feels closer to you than ever before. Not because of anything you added to water, but because you learned how to master emotional presence, how to regulate your reactions, how to speak with kindness during arguments, how to stay calm when challenges appear, and how to turn everyday moments, morning routines, simple conversations, small gestures, into emotional anchors that strengthen the bond. The real power of a man at any age is not in his body. It's in his character, his emotional intelligence, his ability to understand the needs of the person he loves, and his willingness to grow beyond the habits that once held him back. Good relationships don't happen by accident. They are built by men who understand that intimacy has stages, seasons, evolutions, and emotional layers. And the men who stay connected the longest are the ones willing to adapt, communicate, relearn, unlearn, and show up with a level of maturity that makes their partner feel emotionally safe and physically desired at the same time. And here's the secret that truly keeps a man feeling young. Emotional connection creates emotional chemistry. And emotional chemistry is what sparks physical chemistry. So when you deepen the emotional, the physical naturally follows. No shortcuts, no pressure, no insecurity, just genuine connection that grows richer with age. The moment a man learns to communicate without shutting down, to express love without fear, to listen without trying to fix everything, and to build trust through everyday consistency, he unlocks a version of himself that feels stronger, calmer, younger, and more secure than any quick remedy could ever provide. Because real confidence comes from emotional leadership, from the ability to guide a relationship through challenges with patience and understanding, from the ability to build connection even on days when life is stressful or exhausting, and from the ability to make your partner feel emotionally held, supported, valued, and understood. This is the kind of power that lasts a lifetime, the kind of closeness that keeps intimacy alive even when age advances, and the kind of emotional strength that makes a man feel ageless, not because he is trying to be 20 again, but because he has learned how to love with a depth that most 20-year-olds never even understand. Emotional intelligence is the real fountain of youth in a relationship, and the moment a man masters it, he discovers that intimacy becomes deeper, connection becomes easier, and love becomes something he can sustain with confidence and pride, no matter how old he gets. At the end of it all, the greatest transformation a man can experience doesn't come from a bottle, a shortcut, or a secret ingredient. It comes from the way he chooses to show up in his relationship every single day. Because the truth is, time will change your body, life will test your patience, and age will shape your priorities. But emotional intelligence is the one strength that grows stronger with every year you live. When you learn how to communicate with honesty, love with intention, listen with presence, apologize with humility, and connect with depth, you become a man who never has to chase youth, because you carry the kind of confidence, calmness, and emotional maturity that makes you feel powerful at any age. Real intimacy is not about being 20 again. It's about being the best version of yourself today. And when you build a relationship based on trust, respect, understanding, and emotional safety, you don't just keep love alive. you make it stronger, deeper, and more meaningful than ever before. In the end, the secret isn't what you add to your water, it's what you add to your heart, your communication, and your relationship. That's the kind of strength that never fades. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share.